Alexandra Daddario was well into her 20s when she landed her first major role, but once her career got going, she wasted no time making her way into the hearts of many fans. While Alexandra Daddario made her debut on All My Children at age 16, it wasn't until she was in her 20s that she landed the breakthrough role of Annabeth Chase in Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, the 2010 adaptation of Rick Riordan's hit fantasy novel. It was her first big project, and it required some serious adjustment to her lifestyle. Within 2 weeks of sending her tape in, she was moving to Vancouver for the shoot. Despite having little time to prepare for it, Daddario's introduction at Camp Half-Blood is the first iconic moment of her career. Daddario's performance as Annabeth, the demigod daughter of Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, immediately conveys the character's cunning and brute strength. In her first interaction with the titular Percy, she shows little mercy and quickly bests him in sword combat. It's a great intro for Annabeth, and it marked Daddario as a memorable performer capable of intense action sequences. Speaking to Cosmopolitan, she said that the combat training she learned for this scene became very useful later in her career.
It empowered me and made me feel stronger, and it changed my life.
Although we never got a third Percy Jackson movie, it's nice to know Daddario still cherishes her time playing Annabeth.
I always win.
Daddario has made many memorable appearances in hit comedy shows, from her brief stint in New Girl to a cameo in the pilot of The Last Man on Earth. However, the most iconic of the bunch has to be her guest role on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. In the episode Charlie and Dee Find Love, Charlie and Dee end up going on a double date with members of Philly's wealthiest family. Daddario's Ruby Taft falls hard for Charlie, but things don't end well for her, despite how accepting she seems to be of Charlie's quirks and flaws. In the end, it's revealed that Charlie was simply using Ruby as a way to make the waitress, his true love, jealous. Charlie ends up chewing Ruby out for being so naive, resulting in her running off crying. Daddario's experience on Always Sunny was just as memorable for her as it was for viewers, because she was a massive fan of the show even before she was cast. Considering Ruby is one of the more likable characters in Always Sunny, it's not hard to see why audiences were charmed by her performance. While her previous roles established her as a working actor in mainstream film and TV, Daddario was never the same after True Detective. She appeared in the critically acclaimed first season of the HBO series as Lisa, the mistress of Woody Harrelson's Marty Hart. While Lisa plays a much bigger part in the unraveling of Marty's personal life amid a troubling homicide investigation, she received a lot of attention for one particular scene. In it, Marty makes a late-night visit to Lisa's apartment, where it's first revealed that he's cheating on his wife with her. Daddario went nude for the scene, which she viewed as a challenge, but one she was willing to take on for the opportunity to work on the series. As she told MTV, "I really wanted to be part of the show, and I understood why the nudity and all of that was required of the character. The character is really different from anything that I've done before." True Detective ended up being a huge boost for Daddario's career. She would later reveal that there was an influx of offers after that episode aired. Speaking to Men's Journal about her now iconic appearance, she said, "I was naked on the show, and it was huge for my career, and the phone was ringing and I got some work off of it. I think that I hadn't been that aware of my sex appeal prior to that." American Horror Story's Hotel might not be the most popular installment of the series, but if you're a fan of the show, then you probably have a soft spot for the first time Daddario and Lady Gaga locked lips. In 2015, Daddario played a recurring role in the 5th season of the hit horror anthology, appearing as real-life Hollywood costume designer Natasha Rambova. Lady Gaga plays the Countess Elizabeth, who becomes romantically entangled in the marriage between Natasha and her husband, Rudolph Valentino.
Why am I here? Because, little mouse, gods have appetite.
Natasha and Elizabeth kiss several times during their relationship, which comes to a violent end. In one iconic scene from the season's 10th episode, She Gets Revenge, Elizabeth and Natasha become involved in a confrontation that ends with Elizabeth coldly shooting Natasha in the head. Hotel is far from the scariest season of American Horror Story, but this moment stands out as being particularly shocking. The experience was a memorable one for Daddario as well.
I got to work with Lady Gaga. What an amazing woman. She may have been my best on-screen kiss.
In 2017, Daddario played her biggest role up to that point in Baywatch, a film reboot of the iconic TV series. She starred as Summer Quinn alongside Zac Efron and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Being a Baywatch movie, Daddario knew she would be spending a lot of time in a swimsuit, so she trained hard for the role, doing full-body workouts, hot yoga, and cardio, among other exercises. Scantily clad men and women are par for the course when it comes to Baywatch, and what's clear from the film's blooper reel is that Daddario had quite a sense of humor about the whole thing. In one scene, Efron's Matt gets distracted by Summer's chest during a conversation, which he hilariously calls out.
Do you just look at my boobs?
I was not my intention.
During the blooper version of this scene, Daddario jumps up and down, which causes Efron and her to break. The whole reel is hilarious, but seeing Daddario let loose and mess around with her colleagues is what really makes it for fans of the actor. Although Baywatch belly flopped at the box office, the role of Summer was one of Daddario's first opportunities to prove she could be a leading lady in a comedy movie, and it wouldn't be her last. If Baywatch was a trial run for Daddario's potential as a comedy leading lady, 2017's The Layover was like the Olympics. Directed by William H. Macy, the film stars her and Kate Upton as roommates who begin competing over a hot firefighter during an extended layover. Sadly, the film did not impress critics, and it even belongs to the dreaded 0% club on Rotten Tomatoes. Needless to say, the film itself is not one of the high points of Daddario's career, but if The Layover has one redeeming quality, it's the comedic performance of its lead. She shines as her antics bring about moments of physical comedy that make you wonder why she hasn't done more of it. Daddario's unhinged energy after an unfortunate incident in a filthy restroom is undeniably hilarious, and while the film was a huge flop, this scene remains iconic for fans of the actor. Alexandra Daddario clearly loves making people laugh, and she is certainly not above poking fun at herself. In an iconic sketch she did for After Hours with Josh Horowitz, she arrives at Horowitz's apartment for a date after they connect on an app. She plays a bizarre version of herself who believes in some far-out conspiracy theories, including this gem.
Matthew McConaughey is actually a robot made of whiskey and plexiglass.
Daddario is hilarious in the sketch, which is appropriately titled, "Ever Wanted to Date Alexandra Daddario? This might change your mind." But perhaps the funniest thing about it is that it did little to put people off her. When the bit appeared on Comedy Central's YouTube channel, the comment section filled up with fans declaring that it would take way more than that to make Daddario seem unappealing. As one fan wrote, "If she says Earth is flat, then flat it is." Yet another concurred, writing, "Finding someone you can be weird with is what dating is all about." Can You Keep a Secret was a significant step for Daddario for a number of reasons. First, the film was her first credit as an executive producer. She reflected on this professional step, telling The Hollywood Reporter, "I think that's also a testament to how Hollywood is changing and allowing women to have more power over what they're doing. And it's also a testament to how long I've been doing this, and it's exciting to have reached that point." In the movie, Daddario plays a woman named Emma, who meets a stranger on an airplane and subsequently begins a relationship with him, only for them to grow distrustful over each other's secrets. The two initially hit it off during some turbulence, and Emma drunkenly confesses all of her personal issues and regrets regarding things like sexuality and tattoos.
I wish that I knew what it was like to have a penis.
Daddario later confirmed to Cosmopolitan that the film involved a lot of improv, particularly in that scene, with many of her rambling confessions being ad-libs. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Daddario was one of many actors who made YouTube vlogs to pass the time in quarantine. She began filming audience Q&As, trying on clothing, and sharing other daily activities, which ended up being a charming window into her closest friendships and real-life personality. In one of the funnier videos from her channel, Daddario and her roommate react to scary movies to commemorate Halloween, which quickly turns into Daddario just torturing her friend with the most terrifying scenes from horror films. It doesn't take long for the watch list to spiral out of control, with Daddario picking out clips from The Room, as well as some notorious viral videos. In an era of entertainment where a lot of celebrities try and fail to capture audiences with relatability, Daddario's charisma in these vlogs seems so effortless. Another iconic Daddario moment happened when she returned to HBO for the anthology series The White Lotus. The show, which centers on the staff and guests of a fictional hotel resort, finds Daddario playing Rachel, one half of a newly married couple. Rachel begins to discover cracks in her relationship, culminating in a scene where she confronts her spouse, Shane. Her +1 monologue is nothing short of an exquisite performance that no doubt contributed to her getting an Emmy nomination. In the end, Rachel decides to stay with Shane, though she's clearly not entirely happy about it. After a brief separation, they encounter one another at the airport, and she utters one of her final lines.
I'm happy. Promise. I'll be happy.
Speaking to The Hollywood Reporter about the line, she reflected, "Rachel's now married. She has money. She's in this resort and Shane's like, what's the problem here? You're causing all this." Just by being vulnerable and trying to express how she's feeling, she feels like she's in trouble. This was undoubtedly one of the best performances of Daddario's career to date, and combined with Jake Lacy's take on her spoiled, rich husband, the pair earned high praise from TV Line, among other outlets. In AMC's Mayfair Witches, an adaptation of Anne Rice's trilogy of novels, Daddario stars as Rowan Fielding, a neurosurgeon who discovers that she's part of a dynasty of witches with latent powers. This becomes apparent from the show's earliest moments. One scene from the first episode puts Daddario's acting chops on full display as Rowan has a badass moment of empowerment. In the sequence, Rowan tries to get her mother into a cancer treatment program, only to be told by her boss that there's only room in the program for 30 patients. When Rowan is told to choose a person to kick out in place of her mother, she angrily tells her boss off for being a manipulative person. She unintentionally harnesses her powers to give him a brain hemorrhage, killing him on the spot. It's an engrossing scene that sets the tone for the series. Speaking about her character with Variety, Daddario reflected, "You are dealing with a character that is already navigating real-life problems and extreme grief, and you don't know what to expect from her. Then she's given all this power and control." It was really fascinating to dive into. While it's still fairly early in Mayfair Witches' run, Rowan could certainly become a defining character in Daddario's career.